Good afternoon, students. So, previous session we start to discuss about one of the case. It was actually what we are observed. The case of Lakshman Kumar. The case of Lakshman Kumar. It is about actually Lakshman Kumar versus the Delhi administration. Now we came to know that after that. So here the trial court convicted Lakshman and his mother Shakuntala and even his brother-in-law Subhas Chandra and sentenced all three of them to death. Then what happened? Whether it was came into force or whether they were affiliated to any other higher courts, and what was the result that we are going to know. See, in November 1983, November, sorry, November 1983, the three accused went to the High Court to appeal. To appeal. About what? So, to appeal against this verdict of the trial court. ಟ್ರಯಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಆದೇಶವನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ, ತೀರ್ಪನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಆ ತೀರ್ಪಿನ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಅವರು ಹೈಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಮೊರೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಕಾಲ್ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಅಪೀಲ್. ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟುಡ್ ನಾವು? ಸೊ what is the meaning of appeal? See, in this it refers to a petition. Are getting now? So here appeal means in this actually in this means in this context it refers to a petition. A petition feel, if they feel, suppose whatever the trial court given the judgment it's unfair, or if they're not satisfied, so they can go through the proper channel and they can appeal to the higher court. Now here in this the Lakshman and all the including Lakshman, all three, so they were appealed to the higher court. Understood? No? So what is this? It is actually a petition filed before a higher court to hear a case that has already been decided by a lower. ಸೊ ಲೋವರ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ತೀರ್ಪನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತದಲ್ಲ, ಆ ತೀರ್ಪಿನ ವಿರುದ್ಧವಾಗಿ ಅಥವಾ ತೀರ್ಪು ಸಮರ್ಪಕವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಸೊ ಹೈಯರ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಸೊ ಮೊರೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದಿಸ್ is used to called as a appeal. Now here in the month of November 1983, the three accused went to the High Court to appeal against this verdict of the trial. See, the High Court, after hearing the arguments of all the lawyers and decided that Sudha had died due to an accidental fire caused by the kerosene stove. Again, once again, the inquiry and even everything, the process, after hearing all the arguments of all the lawyers, afterwards, the High Court, it was decided that Sudha had died due to an accidental fire caused by the kerosene stove. Lakshman, Shakuntala and Subhas Chandra, so they were acquitted. after this. Now, what happened in this process? Whatever the verdict given by the trial court, that was cleared, and the High Court given the new decision which is completely against whatever the verdict given by the trial court. So please try to remember whatever you studied in the 7th class. In the women groups across the country spoke about against dowry deaths. ವರದಕ್ಷಿಣೆ ಕಿರುಕುಳದಿಂದ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. See here, they protested against the failure of courts to bring these cases to justice. They were failure to bring all these cases to justice. The above High Court judgment deeply troubled women, and they held a demonstration and filed a separate appeal against this High Court decision in the Supreme Court through the Indian Federation of Women Lawyers. Are you getting now? So what happened? The above High Court judgment deeply troubled women, and they held a demonstration and filed a separate appeal against this High Court decision in the Supreme Court through the Indian Federation of Women Lawyers. So regarding this, we already studied in the last year. So in 1985, the Supreme Court heard this appeal against the acquittal of Lakshman and the 2 members of his family. The Supreme Court heard the arguments of the lawyers and reached a decision that was different from that of the High Court. So see this process. What happened now? Again, the Supreme Court heard this appeal against the acquittal of Lakshman and 2 other members of his family, and the Supreme Court heard the arguments of the lawyers and reached a decision that was different from that of the High Court. Again, about this case, the Supreme Court judgment given in a different. They found Lakshman and his mother guilty, but acquitted the brother-in-law Subhash because they did not have enough evidence against him. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಗೇನ್ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮಣ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ತಾಯಿಯನ್ನು ಅಪರಾಧಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕನ್ಸಿಡರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಾಕ್ಷಿಗಳ ಕೊರತೆಯಿಂದ ಸುಭಾಷ್ ಅನ್ನ ಅವರು ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. The Supreme Court decided to send the accused to prison for life. So ಅವರನ್ನ ಅಪರಾಧಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸಿ ಅವರನ್ನ ಜೀವಾವಧಿ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ಸುಪ್ರೀಂ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಗುರಿಪಡಿಸುತ್ತೆ. So I hope, dear students, this is what a clear message to us. Suppose whatever the judgment or the decision taken by the lower court in our judiciary system, suppose if we are not feel satisfied, or if we are not accept, there is the certain conditions and all, of course, then we can appeal to the higher court. For example, district court to high court, and even in high court, then finally we can go to Supreme Court also. But there is the certain limitations. We have to follow that limitations. Understood now? Now let us discuss about the different branches of the legal system. The different branches of the legal system. So what are the different branches of our legal system? See, dear students, whatever we studied the case that is about the Lakshman, see, it was very clear that is about dowry death falls. Dowry death falls within what is considered a criminal against society. A criminal or a crime. Understood now? And is a violation of criminal law. It is a crime and is a violation of criminal law. So, in addition to criminal law, the legal system also deals with civil law cases. So, crime and civil, criminal and civil. Are you getting, dear students? So, actually, we all of you studied in the previous chapter how a new civil law which was passed in 2006 to protect women against domestic violence. Are you getting, dear students? So, it is very clear that so our legal system has the different branches which are actually look after the different cases, especially criminal and civil. So there is the two main branches that we used to call as a criminal law and civil law. Criminal and civil. See, deals with conduct or acts that the law defines as offenses. For example, theft, harassing a woman to bring more dowry, or murder, like these cases. So please once again keep in your mind, deals with conduct or acts that the law defines as offenses. For example, theft and harassing a woman to bring more dowry, murder, loot, so on and so forth. ಸೊ ಇವುಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಕೊಲೆ ಸುಲಿಗೆ ದರೋಡೆ ಸೊ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಮಕ್ಕಳು. ಅಂಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕೇಸಸ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಡೀಲ್ಸ್ ವಿತ್ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಕೋಡ್ಸ್, ಡೀಲ್ ಬೈ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಲ್ ಕೋಡ್ಸ್. ಇಂತಹ ಅಪರಾಧಗಳೇನಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕೊಲೆ ಸುಲಿಗೆ ದರೋಡೆ ಹತ್ಯೆ, including even the terrorism also. So all those actually considered as a criminal offenses. Understood now? And what about civil laws? See, deals with any harm or injury to rights of individuals. This all, for example, disputes relating to sale of land or purchase of goods or rent matters, divorce cases. So all these cases actually deal by civil courts and this used to called as a civil law. ಆಸ್ತಿ ವಿವಾದಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಯಾವುದಾದ್ರೂ ಭೂಮಿ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ಸ್ಗಳು or purchase of goods and even the rent matters also and even the divorce cases also. ಸೊ ಇವುಗಳೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಸಹ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಆಗ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಲಾ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾವು ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡೀಲ್ ಬೈ ದ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಕೋರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಗಾಟ್ ಇಟ್ ನೌ? And it is very clear the main thing. So criminal courts are deals with the crimes which are especially theft, harassing a woman to bring a dowry or so and so things, and even the murder like this, and related to disputes or conflicts about the to sale of land or even the share of property among the family members, and even the rent matters or purchase of goods and services, and even including diverse cases. So these are all actually considered or deal by the civil laws. And the another important thing, criminal laws, it usually begins with the lodging of an first information report. First information report, that is called as a FIR. That means first information report. See, the criminal laws usually begins with the lodging of an FIR, which is called as a first information report, with the police who investigate the crime, after which a case is filed in the court. Getting now? So, and the another one thing under the criminal law, it found guilty, the accused can be sent to jail and also fined. So they can sent to jail also, and even the court can put fine also. Now here in the civil cases, a petition has to be filed before the relevant court by the affected party only. Please keep it in your mind. A petition has to be filed before the relevant court by the affected party only. In a rent matter, either the landlord or tenant can file a case, whoever it may be. So they must file the case. And also the civil law and the civil court gives the specific relief asked for. The court gives the specific relief asked for. For instance, in a case between a landlord and a tenant, in a case between a landlord and a tenant, the court can order the flat to be vacated and pending rent to be paid. Like this. Here we cannot what we call guess to send to jail or to be fined, not like that. So here in this case, between a landlord and a tenant, the court can order the flat to be vacated. This is one, whatever the acquired flats that must be vacated, and whatever the pending rent, it must be paid. So in this way we can expect the judgment in the civil laws. So it is very clear that in our legal system there are two main different branches. Understood now? So one is a criminal law and the another one is a civil law. So the criminal law deals with theft, harassing a woman, even the murder, and so on and so forth. And civil law deals with property matter, purchasing of goods, even including divorce cases, and so on and so forth. So this is what the different branches of our legal system. Got it, dear students? Now, let us discuss about, does everyone have access to the courts in our legal system? Everyone have access to the court. See, in principle, all citizens of India can access the courts in this country. This implies that every citizen has a right to justice through the courts. Everyone. So what already we learned earlier, the courts play a very significant role in protecting our fundamental rights, because the fundamental rights are guaranteed by, provided by the constitution. Suppose if we feel If our fundamental rights are violated by a person or a government or any organization, so we should approach to the different level of the court. If any person or if any citizen of our country believes that their rights are being violated, then they can approach the court for justice to be done. See, while the courts are available for all, in reality, access to courts has always been difficult for a vast majority of the poor in India. Because the maximum of the people in our country, they were poor class people. They are poor. So legal procedures involve a lot of money and paperwork and as well as take up a lot of time. That we all of you knows that. So they require a lot of money and even the lot of paperwork also, lot of and even the time also. See, for a poor person who cannot read and whose family depends on a daily wage, the idea of going to court to get justice often seems too remote. It's really very difficult for them. ಜೀವನ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಅಂತ್ಯದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಓದು ಬರಹ ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆನೇ ಇರುವಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಸೊ how can they approach it's too difficult so that's what dear students in response to this the Supreme Court in the early 1980s devised a mechanism of public interest litigation public interest litigation. It's used called as a PIL, public interest litigation. See, to increase access to justice, the Supreme Court, it was in the early 1980s, devised this mechanism to the public. See, it allowed any individual or organization to file a PIL, whoever it may be. So any person or any organization can file or can access or can this PIL. Even in the High Court also or even in the Supreme Court also on behalf of or those whose rights were being violated. On behalf of anyone, even any public person or any organization, so they can file a PIL. That means public interest litigation. Got it, dear students? See here, the legal process was greatly simplified and even a letter or telegram addressed to the Supreme Court or the High Court could be treated as a PIL. Even if the person or any organization, if they can't go, if they are unable to approach the way, even if they are written a letter or if they are sent a telegram which is addressed to the Supreme Court or High Court, so that is also treated as a PIL. That is also considered as a PIL. So in the early years, PIL was used to secure justice on a large number of issues such as risking bonded laborers from inhuman work conditions and securing the release of prisoners in Bihar who had been kept in a jail even after their punishment term was complete. See, these all. So did you know that the midday meal program, which is actually started by the Tamil Nadu and afterwards which was actually asked by the Supreme Court to start by all other different states of our country. So this is actually because of a PIF. Understood now? See, for the common person, access to courts is access to justice. The courts exercises a crucial role in interpreting the fundamental rights of citizens, and we all of you knows that the Article 21 of our Constitution, that is about a right to life, which is include the right to food also. So they therefore ordered the state to take certain steps to provide food for all, including the midday meal scheme also. Getting now. So, Article 21, that is about right to life. The right to life, it is including right to food also, dear students. So, there are also court judgments that people believe work against the best interest of the common person. For example, activists who work on issues concerning the right to shelter and housing for the poor believe that the recent judgments on evictions are a far cry from earlier judgments. While recent judgments tend to view the slum dweller as the encroacher in the city, earlier judgments like the 1985 Olga Tellis versus Bombay Municipal Corporation had tried to protect the livelihoods of slum dwellers. And also, dear students, another issue that affects the common person's access to justice is the inordinately long number of years that court take to hear a case. The phrase justice delayed is justice denied is often used to characterize this extended time period that courts take. So please keep it in our mind. This is the beautiful phrase justice delayed is justice denied. So, however, in spite of this, there is no denying that the judiciary has played a crucial role in democratic India, serving as a check on the powers of the executive and as well as the legislature, and even so as well as the judiciary system protecting the fundamental rights of the citizens also, and the members of the constituent assembly had quite correctly envisioned a system of courts with an independent judiciary as a key feature of our democracy. I hope, dear students, so you got this all. If you have any doubts, you can call or you can ask. Thank you. Have a nice day.